Hello students, in the previous video we have seen acid bases salts and their preparation and various uses and applications of them. In this video today we are going to discuss about analytical chemistry, how we can analyze substances and identify what is present in them and how we can answer questions on that. Keep watching. Analytical chemistry is the branch of chemistry that deals with separation, identification and quantification of chemical compounds. So what we do here, chemical analysis, we want to know what is in a substance and how much of that is in a substance. So chemical analysis can be of two types. One is called the qualitative analysis, the other is called quantitative analysis. In qualitative analysis, what we do is we deal with the identification of what is present in a substance. Example, what are the elements present in a substance? Substance means a compound. And what are the anions or what are the cations? If it is not ionic, then what are the elements present in it? This is what we identify in qualitative analysis. So what is qualitative analysis? Qualitative analysis is finding out what is present in a substance. Next is the quantitative analysis. As the term goes, it deals with quantity. How much of each substance is present there? Like if the elements are identified, how much of each element is present in that substance, so that we can find out the percentage of each substance. And in other words, we can find a percentage composition. Now, when we combine qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis, that is a combination of qualitative analysis and quantitative analysis. In other words, first finding what is present and then finding how much of each of those constituents is present. This will help us to determine the structure of the compound or to help us to give a molecular formula to the compound. So this is an important application of chemical analysis, or the branch of chemistry that deals with the analysis of substance, analytical chemistry. Now let us understand the color of certain substances. First we will take these soluble salts and the color of the salt and also the color of their solutions. The first thing is calcium chloride, CaCl2, is a white crystalline solid. White crystalline solid. Okay. So its aqueous solution is colorless. When dissolved in water, it forms colorless solution. Calcium nitrate is colorless deliquescent crystals. It looks like ice. If you keep it on a watch glass, it starts absorbing moisture and then spread as a solution, just like it looks like melting of ice. It also forms colorless solution. Ferrous chloride is green crystals. FeCl2 is green crystal and its aqueous solution is also green. FeSO4 or ferrous sulfate or iron 2 sulfate is pale green crystals, and its aqueous solution is also pale green. Then we have ferric chloride or FeCl3, iron 3 chloride. It is yellowish brown crystals. Okay, this also is deliquescent, absorbs moisture, and it will form yellow colored solution. Fe2SO4 whole thrice, ferric sulfate is brown, aqueous solution is also brown. Then ferric nitrate, FeNO3 whole thrice, is reddish brown. The aqueous solution is also reddish brown. And there are more substances. We have cuprous chloride, CuCl2, is green and green crystals, and the solution is also green. And CuNO3 whole twice, cupric nitrate, is deep blue crystals. Its aqueous solution is also deep blue. CuSO4 copper sulfate, this is the anhydrous form. It is also hydrated, 5H2O will be there in it, but when it is 5H2O, it will be blue crystals. Blue crystals. In the anhydrous form, if H2O is not there, hydrated form is not there, it is anhydrous, then it is white powder. Okay, so there are two forms. Then the aqueous solution is blue. When dissolved in water, it turns blue. Then we have zinc chloride. So zinc chloride is white crystals, colorless. Solution is colorless. Zinc nitrate is colorless crystals and forms colorless solution. Zinc sulfate is white crystals, colorless solution. When dissolved in water, forms colorless solution. Lead nitrate is again white crystalline or white crystals. Dissolved in water, forms colorless solution. Okay. The next thing we are going to see is about identification of cations. How we can identify cations. Cations are positively charged ions. In other words, they are mostly metals and also ammonium ion. Ammonium ion is NH4 plus, the positive charged ions. They are called cations. Now let's see how we can identify. Cations are identified by the action of alkalis. So we also call it basic radical. Instead of cation, we may also call it basic radical because they are identified with the help of alkalis or bases. Two alkalis, sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide, are used for this on the aqueous solution of the salt. Then we can identify which cation is present. What we do is first we dissolve the given salt in water, prepare its aqueous solution. We have aqueous solution. Then take about 2 ml of the aqueous solution in two different test tubes. We have two test tubes, test tube A and test tube B. This is test tube B and this is test tube A. We take a small amount there, about 2 ml of the solution in both the test tubes. And what we do then, to test tube A, add sodium hydroxide. Into this we are adding sodium hydroxide, NaOH solution. And to this test tube B we are adding ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH solution. And how do we add it? Add the reagent slowly, drop by drop, with constant shaking. Keep shaking the test tube and you will continue to add while shaking. So this is the procedure we do. We take aqueous solution of the substance, split it into two, test tube A, test tube B, 2 ml on each. Then keep adding sodium hydroxide into test tube A slowly, drop by drop, until it is in excess. Same thing we do on test tube B, adds ammonium hydroxide slowly, drop by drop, until it becomes excess. Now what are the possible observations and what ions are present in it? How do we conclude this? Okay. Now test tube A. The test tube A, the substance A is taken. This is sample A, where under test tube A we have sodium hydroxide. This is test tube A and this is test tube B, ammonium hydroxide. Okay. If the sample, the small quantity of sodium hydroxide is added and it forms a white PPT, white precipitate, short we write it as PPT. And when added to excess, the PPT dissolves, the precipitate dissolves. Okay, if this is the observation in test tube A, and test tube B, small quantity of ammonium hydroxide, white precipitate is formed, and here also in excess the precipitate dissolves. Okay, so this is the case, same observation on both the test tubes. Then we understand that the ions present are zinc ions are present there. Okay, then the next sample B, white precipitate is formed in test tube A, small quantity, excess is added, white precipitate dissolves, and this side on test tube B you are getting white precipitate here also, white precipitate is formed here also, and in excess the precipitate does not dissolve, So in this case what we see, sodium hydroxide, the white precipitate forms, is dissolving. Ammonium hydroxide, the white precipitate form, is not dissolving. So it is lead ions, Pb++ ions, lead ions are present there. Okay. Now in test sample C, the third sample is taken. Here when we add sodium hydroxide solution, you get a white PPT. White precipitate is formed. On excess, the precipitate does not dissolve. And here what happens in small quantity when you add turbidity comes and no precipitate. Okay, and in this case the same thing, no change here. So now we understand it is calcium ions. Calcium ions are present. White precipitate in small quantity of sodium hydroxide, nothing happens, it does not dissolve when excess of sodium hydroxide is added. And in ammonium hydroxide, it is not giving precipitate, only a turbidity. So it is calcium ions. Okay. Now we will go to sample D. Here we have the next one. It is giving a pale green precipitate when added to small quantity. Pale green precipitate, or sometimes it is called as dirty green precipitate, and no change. Same thing happens when excess is added. And here also you are getting a pale green or dirty green precipitate, and no change when excess is added. The same thing is happening. So it is identified as ferrous ions, Fe++ ions, ion 2. Okay. Now sample E, we add sodium hydroxide in small quantities. You are getting a brown precipitate, and excess, nothing happens, the same thing remains brown. When ammonium hydroxide is added, here also you are getting brown precipitate, and nothing happens when excess is added, no change, it remains brown precipitate, remains as it is. Now we understand it is ferric ions, Fe++ ions. Yes. Now sample F. Here we have the whitish blue precipitate, whitish blue or pale blue precipitate is formed when small amount of sodium hydroxide is added. When we add excess, nothing happens, the same thing is there. And when ammonium hydroxide is added in small quantity, it gives a whitish blue or pale blue precipitate. When excess of ammonium hydroxide is added, the precipitate dissolves to give a deep blue, or sometimes called inky blue solution. Inky blue solution is formed. Now we understand the cation present is copper, Cu++ ions are present. So this is sample F, and the next sample is ammonium ion. How do you identify ammonium ion? Ammonium ion is not identified by using sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide. Here we use a reagent known as Nessler's reagent. We make aqueous solution of the substance and add Nessler's reagent to it. So here what we get is a brown precipitate is formed. Brown precipitate is formed. So we conclude it is ammonium ion, NH4+ ions. Another test can be conducted for ammonium ion is, you take the substance, not aqueous solution, the solid substance, the salt is taken, adding sodium hydroxide solution, and then we heat it. So what you get is, you get a colorless gas with characteristic pungent odor. Okay, the gas gives dense white fumes with a glass rod dipped in con HCl, concentrated hydrochloric acid. So you are heating the substance with sodium hydroxide solution. You get a colorless gas with a very characteristic pungent odor. And if you introduce a glass rod dipped in concentrated hydrochloric acid to the gas. It gives dense white fumes. This is a confirmatory test for ammonium ions. NH4 plus ions is confirmed by this. So students, I hope you understood how we can identify cations and what is qualitative and quantitative analysis. So you can subscribe the channel and write your comments, like the channel, and you continue watching the next sequence. The next I will discuss about how to identify anions. Thank you.